Hello. Yeah, tonight I want to show you a video about how to unmount everything from the DSP2 to take it apart. And the goal in my case is the frequency encoder was broken. Then I replaced this against a normal AC11 encoder, which I used in the DSP1 and also in the original DSP2. These are encoders with 24 ppms and they have 24 dents per 360 degrees. But what we need here is another encoder. This one uses an encoder for both for volume and for frequency, which has 30 dents and 15 ppm. So now what I will do is I take apart the machine. I have already changed this encoder, like I said, to the other one, the wrong one. The problem is then that with every step I do, it gets, you see steps. If I'm on the 1 megahertz step, 1 kilohertz step, it's going 2 kilohertz every time with one dent. You have in between the dents, I can adjust, you see, but then I'm in between the different dents and it's very difficult to get the frequency. So then I ordered another EC11 which has no dents, which I will replace on this board, which is the original board, which is in there for the 11 encoders, EC11 encoders. But also I got from a Chinese company a spare part, which is this one. This is the whole board with two encoders, and this is exactly the board which is in the DSP2. So I have a brand new board here, which I will replace today. And I will then, when I have the other board out, I will replace the frequency encoder, which is now not the right one, to the one without any dents. So I have another spare one for the future. So let's go. I show you how to take the whole thing apart. Okay, so the first we have to take off the 6 screws on the back. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This we have to take off first. And yeah, as you see, I have mounted some rubber feet on the back, and I have a very nice stand found, which gives the machine really good stand. And so it's also standing on the rubber legs when it's on this one. So this is quite comfortable. So by the way, just now we have to unscrew these 6 screws first. So after that we take off the back plate. Just lift it off. Take it beside. Okay, the next step is to take off the battery, which is just glued in the machine. So first I'm going to disconnect all connections which we have here, which is the speaker and the battery. So the battery, this was the speaker and now this is the battery. Slightly take it off. Okay, after this we can now easygoing carefully remove the battery, because it's just glued on the motherboard with a little tiny glue on the end. And here we go. Here we got the battery. Nothing happened. So also we take it beside. Now here we are. The next step is we have to unscrew these two pieces which holding the back case on the underside. But we have to take them out, otherwise we can't remove the speaker. So we unscrew these. These are 4 screws we have just to take out. So now next step is taking out the speaker. We just lift it up. It's just laying inside the case. So also very carefully we lift it up. Here we go. This is the speaker. We put it beside. So now next step is we have to disconnect this little pigtail, because here we have the preamp board and this is the main board, and here on this part here you see the encoder board, the little board which I've shown you before, which I will replace. So the first step now is I will take off this pigtail very carefully, because they are quite sensible that you don't break anything. Just slightly lift it up with some plastic tool, what I do here, and here we go. It just pops off. You put it beside. Now, okay, the next step is actually to take everything off from the top part. I have to unscrew these two screws from the antenna connectors. As well, we have to take off the knobs and the screws underneath the knobs. So let's do that. I have different knobs on. This is why maybe it's different for you. You just have maybe to pull them just off. Mine have a little screw to fix them. Next step is taking off these screws from these two screws here from the encoders. I do this very careful like this. Make it a bit loose, and then you can actually take it off by hand. Here we go. It's the first one, and with a little washer underneath. Second one. And the little washer as well. Here we go. Now I do the same here with the two connectors from the antenna. I just unscrew, but here you have to be really careful, because this is a weak part of these machines. This breaks sometimes very easy, because they, I think, have a little bit of tension when they're in the case. So be very careful taking them out, and also to fix them again with the screws in the end. So it's quite easy. So this was this. Now, next step is we can take out this board, which is here connected with two plugs. We can have first to open the screws, of course. It's held by two screws, one left, one right, here and here. Of course, you need the right tools for that. You need the right screwdrivers, because these are little Torx screws. It's not normal cross screws, so you need some special screwdrivers. Next one. Here we go. So now this part should be actually free. And now I try to pull this very easy, very careful to the back. I try to push here to lose a bit the plugs with the plastic tool. You see, very easy going. Here it comes out already. There came out two little washers. They fell just off. They are underneath the screws in the top. So here's the preamp board. That's how it looks. With a connected pigtail, this we can leave there. And these two little washers, take care not to lose them, because in the end you will need them again to put them underneath the screws. Okay, now comes actually the main board. We have to take the main board out. This is fixed with 1, 2, 3 screws. Let's take them out. The screws are not magnetic, so normally my screwdriver would take them. Here we got one. The second one is sticking still. Here it goes. Number 2. Now we got one more here on the corner. There we go. So this board is actually sticking on top the processor board, which is the screen board. Let's say the screen board is very down, and here is the main board. So we have to pull it very easy off. It's connected to the other one with a multi-plug connector. Here we go. So you see, so the best way is actually to lift it on the left side, and then it comes out like this with all the connectors. All right, so now we have to take out the last board, which is the board from the screen, which is still in. This is now actually the last board, and with this board, the EC11 encoders are connected with a little ribbon connector. So 1, 2, 3 screws again. So here we go. Take out the screw. Doesn't want to come out. Okay, doesn't matter anyhow. It comes out with the board now already. Now you see I can pull out everything in one. So the encoders with the board, now take care that the ribbon cable doesn't break. So here we have the screen board with the connected encoders and the last screw. Okay, now we disconnect the encoders. I will do this on the encoder board because the other side is connected inside. So take care not to break this cable. You have to open on the back. There in the back you see there are little black points, dots. There you can pull it to the back. It's like a lock. When it's open to the back, the cable already goes out easy. Here it is. This is the encoder board. You can see I exchanged the right one, which is black, but it was the wrong one. So I had this problem with the dents and the frequencies, the steps. Okay, let's get the new board. This is the new encoder board, which I got from the provider who sold me the Malahit DSP2 in AliExpress, and they straight away helped me when mine was broken, and sent me this one. A replacement was $17, and it was here within 1 week. So let's put this in. Now we have to open in the back this black thing again, the lock to put in the flat cable. So to see that we put it the right way, yeah, it must be like this. So we have to connect it that way into the connector. And when it's in the connector, we have to close this black thing, the lock. It's a bit difficult to do this, but with some patience. So this must be really in. You see from the back side. We can push it a bit from the back side. Now it's really in. So now it's really in, and we can close this black lock in the end or in the back, that the cable can't slip out and that it has a proper connection. I think that's it, but I will redo it a bit with my plastic tool. Just give some pressure on the lock. So now it's really closed. The cable is really well in. So we can replace putting everything together again. So before I put it in again, I will clean the screen a bit, especially the outsides, which we never can reach when it's in the case. And during time, there is also getting some dust inside. I have a very soft tissue for glasses, and this is quite well for this. You see, it's very clean now. Okay, so now we can put everything together again. First, we have to put the encoders in position through the holes, and then we can slightly push it in and set the board down. So very easy going. First, I'm going to fix now the board with the screws. Chain automatic. Okay. Right in the right position. I just screw it very loose that I still can move the board while putting in the other screws. To be sure it's in the right position when all the screws are in. Let's see. And the last one, I still can move the board. No, I can't actually. The last screw up here. Let's see. Looks quite straight. Just want to correct a little bit maybe to the left. Just loosen a tiny bit so I can move the board, but it's actually it's not so much, you can move it anyhow. But I will put it as most to the right, and then it's actually fine. So now I can tighten really the screws. Okay, so this is now okay. Second thing I will do is now fixing the screws from the encoders. So I have the screws, always a washer underneath. There you go. So here I do the same. I try to fix them in the middle, in the center, that the knobs in the end sitting really in the center of the little spares. That's it, not too tight, but tight. Okay, that's it. Okay, next one is now our plug board on top. Take care that this is aligned with the pins inside of the machine. Of course, first you have to bring it inside like this into the holes. That means all the buttons have to be inside of the holes in the case. And then when they're all in, like now, then the board goes down. And now actually it's in the right position, and you, with a slightly press, you press it down until it's not going more. Now it's connected with the other board. So now we can fix the 3 screws again. Use the electric still. Beside. And the last one down here. Here we go. So that's done. Now our preamp board, our antenna inputs must go through there. So now be really careful. You have to bring all the contacts here, left and right, in the right height to really bring them into the plugs, like now. Then you press upwards until you cannot more, and then it's fixed in the position. And now the next step is to fix these 2 antenna connectors with the washers and the screws. So first I put the transparent washers. They're like a little bit rubberish. I think they keep the screws tight when you lock them. Now you have to be really careful not to tighten them too much, because they can break off very easy. I do it like this. I just screw it by hand until it's giving a bit of resistance. The same here. When they have resistance, I go with my tool and very carefully I tighten them. I think that's enough. Yeah, I think that's enough tight. Now this one can have a bit more. So you feel it. If it's getting really tense, then you stop before breaking them. So that's it. They're fixed and in again. So next step is our speaker. The speaker is, by the way, the same which is in all the version 1 DSPs from Malahit versions from China, Malahits. It's an active speaker and a passive membrane. That means one is really driven and the other one is just moving with the sound, but gives it a really full and rich sound. The speaker sounds really great in this case, in the CNC case. So we look for the big one in the big hole, the small in the small hole. So slide it in. And here we can straight away connect it. Take this pigtail away for the moment. We connect straight away the speaker. That's done. Now we can also do the pigtail, by the way, if we are there. This is also a bit delicate, so you have to really have to be in the center of the. You can see this. Maybe it's a very tiny plug. There's the center pin and the outer shield. The same is in the pigtail, and it's very important that the pigtail is really in the center of the plug, that we don't break it and that it gets real contact. So this is a bit difficult, but with feeling you find the position, and then if you press down it makes click. You see, already done. It makes click and it's fixed in the connector. So the pigtail is fine. I just verify the other side. Everything good. Now we have these two pieces here for the corners. So see, first we do this one here on the left side. The other one. Okay, that's done. Now the last thing is the battery. We put it in the same position like it was. Here was a sticker from the glue. We can still see it here, and there's still the glue. So we put it in the same position. Down, as much down in this corner here as possible, and to the right in between the plugs. It fits perfect, and it's already fixed again, connected here, and we are done. Yeah, and we still have to put some more screws in, which is here and here, the two screws from the preamp board. I forgot to put them before, but it's no problem, we can put them now. So before putting the back case on, I want to try if everything is fine. We switch it on. Getting green light. Here we are. Let's see the encoder. You see, perfect. Now I have, like it's used to be, with every step I have 1 kilohertz. Volume encoder also works fine. So I think this encoders now feel a bit different, like the ones which been in when I bought it. They feel a bit more tight from the moving. Let's see how the quality is now, if it's better. If I turn the other one, it's much easier to turn than these ones. They are a little bit more, they have more quality feeling, let's say. Let's see. Okay, now actually the last thing we have to do is putting back the back case and tighten the 6 screws, and our machine is ready to go. So the screws are in again, all 6 screws. Now we have to put the knobs for the encoders. Like I said before, this is dependent what kind of encoders you have, knobs you have, because some are just sticked on and others you need screws. Mine need little screws to fix them. See the press is working well. Working perfect. Second one. So that's it. Yeah, that could be a little bit more. The press is working better. Yeah, now it feels better with the press. Perfect. So actually our machine should be ready and ready to go. Let's try. I put my antenna. I have a 50 for PNC adapter always on. I'm having the K180 WLA. It's a quite good antenna. I prefer it than the Malahit 30. Has very good reception. Let's see, switch it on. And here we go.
I know what. Okay, that will be my.
Perfect. Now everything is fine, like it should work. Yeah, the encoders feel a little bit more tight from the resistance when you move it. They feel really good. Okay, that's it. I hope that helped how to take apart and put together the Malahit DSP2, the Chinese DOS version of the Malahit. Okay, see you next time. Bye.